Thank you for coming this afternoon. I'm holding this press conference in my capacity as Ayaz Said Qayyum, and this obviously relates to matters pertaining to the complaint that was lodged against me by the leader of opposition, saying that I some way tried to hide information in terms of the declaration that had been made by me. I know many of you, well, a couple of you, including FBC and Fiji Times, had sent me questions pertaining to it. I'd like to thank the rest of you for maintaining your journalistic ethics, because as you know that any investigation requires an independent process to be followed. And in fact, this is why we have refrained from commenting on it. Suffice to say that we had only told Fiji Times that there should not be any improper dealings regarding that, nor any trial by media. This afternoon I have received, as someone who had been copied on the original complaint by the leader of opposition, she had sent the complaint to the supervisor of elections, who then is of course obliged to send it to FICAC. When that letter was sent to FICAC, as one of the persons involved in it, I was copied on that. And today FICAC has given its rulings, given its decision regarding the complaint. FICAC, of course, was here over the past couple of days, talking to me and various other people and acquiring various documentation that's essential for them to carry out the investigation and come to a legal conclusion. FICAC has cleared me of any wrongdoing. If I can quote from it, it says, "It is our conclusion that this complaint is without any merit and does not necessitate any further action. Considering the available facts, explanations with the prevalent legal principles as discussed above, no offence is constituted under Section 24(5) of the PPD that could be proven beyond reasonable doubt in the court of law. Therefore, it is our advice that the complaint does not warrant any further action by FICAC and the matter is disposed of accordingly." You are most welcome to have copies of this letter in the interest of public interest. But let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that this complaint that was signed by Mick Beddoes under the name of the leader of opposition demonstrates quite clearly that this opposition is very desperate and frankly quite stupid. The land is not owned by me. Even in the documentation that I know Fiji Times and others have copies of, you'll see that the title says it's owned by Midlife Investments Limited. What I do own are the shares in the company. So the issue is, have I declared the value of the shares? And as can be seen quite clearly, that in fact I have overstated the value in order to ensure that there is in fact more than transparent processes that have been put in place. And you can see also again, ladies and gentlemen, and in the letter that you'll find, that the intention of declarations is to ensure that there is proper transparency, that proper disclosure. There has been in no instance in this particular matter of any agenda to hide anything. The letter speaks for itself, and I can give you copies of that. It is also very unprofessional that you have the leader of opposition sending a letter that is signed by Mick Beddoes. Who is running the show? Why is the leader of opposition allowing someone else from our office make such a complaint when even a first-year law student or Form 6 student can tell you that the land is owned by Midlife Investments, even in their own documentation that they sent? Let me also then flag to you, if these people are going to raise such matters of irrelevance, in particular when they should be focused on how to improve the lives of all Fijians in Fiji and how to work together to improve our economic growth, let me tell you something. I've also done some digging up. Rotemumu Kappa, in her declaration on 31 May 2013, which I have here with me, declared that she had cash at bank at $1,000, land and buildings $250,000, motor vehicle $40,000, total fixed assets $290,000, We don't know where this land and building is. We assume that that is her Denison Road property. $250,000. That's in 31 May 2013. On 20th August 2014, Denison Road, value $650,000. 10 Denison Road, freehold land, $650,000. So the property value is jumped within 1 year from 250. If it is the same property, maybe it's not the same property, but it's gone to 650. But in February of 2015, the same property has suddenly depreciated in value. On 20th August 2014, she says 10 Denison Road is valued at $650,000. On 20th of August 2015, she says that the land and buildings is worth $168,000. Same land. A difference of approximately $450,000. As we all know, real estate in Fiji appreciates. It very rarely depreciates. So we would love to know which one of these declarations of hers is correct. 31 May 2013, 20th August 2014, 2nd of February 2015. This is the anomaly. Nick Beddoes. He has declared that Power Savers, he owns 2 companies, he has shares in 2 companies. Power Savers, he has, it says, holder, recipient, Millis M. Beddoes, director, shareholder, value declared $8,000. Now, he has shown in the last company return that was filed on 31st December 2012, he shows that he has shares of 3,500. Presumably another 3,500 was transferred to him again, which is 7,000 at $1 each. So he's giving $8,000, perhaps it's $7,000 here, but he's valued the company or the shares at $7,000. In the same way, he has another company, McKay Bell Limited, where he said that his shares valued is at $8,000 because he holds $8,000 at par value of $1. Does he in his declaration show any assets of the company? I'm not saying he has to, but I'm asking you the question. Has he shown the assets held by the company, if any? The point being that in my instance, I have actually shown the certificate of title owned by the company. And if you read from the FICIC letter, they've done a thorough analysis of it. They've actually checked my financials that have been filed with FIRCA also. That shows the value of the land vis-a-vis the shares. So ladies and gentlemen, here we have a situation where you have SODELPA members like Peter Wangavonovono, who went to my parents' house together with another person, harassing them, trying to find out where is Midlife Investments. Because at that time when this company was registered, I was working for Colonial, I was living with my parents, and the registered office is 40 Lavoni Road, which is where my parents lived and I lived. They're going around, scratching around the surfaces, trying to harass people who are completely not involved in this particular matter. But guess what? They don't have a plan for Fiji. They don't have an economic policy. They are personalizing matters. And even at that, incorrectly. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the caliber of opposition we have in our country. This is the caliber of people that we have who is the alternative government. Rather than thinking about what our Honorable Prime Minister is doing, yesterday he was there in a village where people are getting water who have not had tap water. That's what the Fiji First government is focused on. That's what our Prime Minister is focused on, not what the Leader of Opposition is doing. how they're personalizing matters and even getting that wrong. It goes to show the obtuseness of these people. I'll give you copies of this fighting letter, which is self-explanatory. And you can have copies of this too if you want, to see the anomalies that has been presented in the declarations made by the leader of opposition. The other issue, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is that we have been asked, and I've also given a response to Fiji Times, which I don't think they've seen it fit to print so far. I stand to be corrected. The journalist was harassing us for about 2 days about the leader of opposition going to Vanuatu and how the PAs are not meeting up with them. It is not an official visit. It is a visit by Sodelpa. It is not a visit sanctioned through a standing committee. It is not a visit that the parliament has voted and said the visit should take place. It is carried out by the leader of opposition and whoever has gone with her on their own volition. So no civil servant is obliged to cater for them. No civil servant is obliged to go and respond to their questions, nor to give them an update on government projects. Those responses, as we've said in Parliament, can be sought through the relevant ministers if they want any information. They need to follow the proper channel. And as we've said, the proper channel in this instance, if you want to ask questions about any projects, you do it through Parliament in question time. Not to make some side visits that is not being sanctioned by Parliament. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have to say. It is rather unfortunate that rather than focusing on the main critical issues that everyday Fijians are concerned about, they fail to engage in those areas. We held about 3 weeks ago, approximately, a session, as some of you are aware, for all members of Parliament on the budget, to come and see how the budget is done, how to read the budget, how to read the budget books. Honorable Tiko Da has written to the Ministry of Finance saying the opposition is going to have their own session. The opposition is invited to that. The Ministry of Finance officials won't attend that session because every single member of Parliament is invited to that. And we've already had that session. So these are the kind of shenanigans that the opposition is involved in. They talk about a bipartisan approach to national issues. We had a bipartisan forum in which everybody is invited, where the ministry officials were going to give them a full briefing, and only a handful of opposition people turned up. Yes, we acknowledge that it was Honorable Tiko Da had turned up, Honorable Salote Randondo had turned up, and some of the other members of the opposition, Dulake Varata, I understand, had also turned up, Honorable Dulake Varata, and some of the other members whose name escapes me. But there's only a handful of them who turned up. The others did not turn up. And now they want to have a separate session. That separate session won't be held because we need to take a bipartisan approach to reading the budget, because we'll be debating the budget. And the Parliament goes into full committee of the House. So these are again the kind of destructive ways in which they are taking the approach to national life. Of course, if I had not declared any asset, if I had tried to hide something, that warrants a complaint, that warrants investigation, that warrants whatever needs to be done. But in this particular instance, there's obviously more than full disclosure. And the stupidity of the complaint, of course, is that the documents they themselves provided actually says what we've been saying from the beginning. But the most disturbing part about all of this is that they send it out to everybody. I'm sure the media organizations got it. They sent it to the Electoral Commission. I know people like Peter Wanga Vonavon and others have been going around and distributing to other people. I understand a statement was issued by the opposition party saying, oh, the media should be picking up on this story. Are we having trial by media? Where is the criminal justice system? They talk about the criminal justice system. They talk about the right to fair trial. But when it comes to practice, they don't believe in it. Only if it suits them. And the test of a good party, the test of a good government is when the rules apply to everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I would like to say. And I'm quite happy for you to take copies of this. Do you have any questions?
No, the trip to Mongolia by the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
Was it sanctioned by? Apparently, the funding was given by Parliament. Was it for the trip?
Well, it was not sanctioned by Parliament.
So
Parliament did not vote on it and to say to go. The standing committee did not say go.
So the thing about funding is not entirely true, is it?
I am not sure about the funding. That I think is something that you need to find from them, from the Secretary General to Parliament. But from what we have been told, and I stand to be corrected, it was not funded through a specific funding for that trip. Maybe they've used the Leader of Opposition's funds that's been allocated. That's fine. That's their choice. But not a specific funding given for this specific trip, not that we are aware of.
Just another question. All this, will this be a formal complaint to FICAC?
We have not. I'm just highlighting this to you. We're not in the business of trying to do this. Let me tell you one more thing, ladies and gentlemen. We have received complaints from members of the public regarding members of the opposition and their declarations. There's one recently that we received, nothing to do with us. It was sent to us. We simply sent it on to the Registrar of Political Parties, also the Supervisor of Elections. I don't know what is done with it, but guess what? We did not go and tell all of you. It was about somebody from the opposition, because it's not prudent to do that. It may be something that will come to naught. But we've just followed the process. We've simply passed it on to the Supervisor of Elections, who is the Registrar of Political Parties. What he's done with this is his business. And this is not for us to, score political points. And you will note from this letter that's been written by FICAC, in this letter, FICAC does say, FICAC does preface this particular opinion to say that they are doing this. It is to be noted at the outset that FICAC, as a matter of practice and in the best interest of its cases, does not generally provide reasoning for the decision made upon the investigations conducted. Nevertheless, given the paramount public interest that environs this particular complaint, FICAC provides further details stated below, which is an exception to the general practice of FICAC. Now, we regrettably note that the important materials pertinent to this investigation, including the complaint and the documents attached therein, have been sent directly to the media and circulated in the public domain. We also learnt that the complainant's office has given interviews and issued statements to the media while the investigations were pending. Such conduct would not only cause serious implications to any investigation, but also have a prejudicial impact on the due process and deny natural justice to all parties. The criminal justice system is not based on trial by the media or utterances of members of the public. It is and must be based on independent assessment and investigation of the facts, the law, and evidence. The manner in which the complaint was lodged and the subsequent actions of the complainant and her officers raises serious concerns on whether the complainant was genuinely interested in having the matter investigated without any prejudice, or was it merely a political exercise with a particular agenda. That, I think, ladies and gentlemen, encapsulates that. And if you juxtapose that to what I've just told you, that we have received complaints about members of the opposition from members of the public, we've simply sent it on, we have not mentioned in the media who those people are. That's for them, that's between the Registrar of Political Parties and the Supervisor of Elections. Sorry, Registrar of Political Parties and FICAC. Nothing to do with us. Nor have we made a political point scoring exercise from it. Because such matters aren't to do with politics. Such matters are to do with disclosure, about integrity, about dignity, which unfortunately seems to be lacking on the other side. Thank you. Can I have this, please?